Watch what? I'm gonna get mine. I'll do the crime if you can't do the time. Don't tell me how you're off and down. When you're smiling in my face, but you play me like a clown, it's your fool, bitch. So just step back. I'm mad that when I come down straight, I thought you were my piece, but you played me out. Now I'm mad as hell, and I'm full of doubt. Who you wanna roll with? Who you wanna roll with? Let's roll. Who you wanna roll with? Who you wanna roll with? Let's roll. Back on the scene, it's time to get mean. I'm a lean revolution machine. For what people stay, they sway. 1, 2 day is good as any day. Y'all feel slightly this, let's resist. Raise your fist and pump like this. Promises all the time. Don't cross the line, but you know it's right. Who you wanna roll with? Who you wanna roll with? Let's roll. Who you wanna roll with? Who you wanna roll with? Let's roll. Who you wanna roll with? Who you wanna roll with? Let's roll. Who you wanna roll with? Who you wanna roll with? Let's roll.
Double time. Get something in your rigger. 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 Double time. Double time. Get something in your rigger.
Who you wanna roll with? Who you wanna roll with? Let's roll. Who you wanna roll with? Who you wanna roll with? Let's roll. Who you wanna roll with? 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 Ha!
Lefty, that's who. Lefty Grimes to my right.
Jim Miller to my left. Welcome to Thursday in Trenton. Oh, yeah.
11th year or 10th? What is this?
This is year 11.
Every fourth Thursday, 8 months a year before the Thanksgiving giveaway of everything we gather up the month before. Cannabis consumers, you know, they're generally good people. They do things. They have empathy. And proud to say I'm one. Actually, I'm a patient. Catastrophic foot injury. Who would have known? Who would have known that when the opiates didn't work, a little bit of cannabis added to it has the synergistic effect of strengthening both? Well, this isn't the rain day we expected. But what we didn't expect was Trenton parking is closed down. No parking in Trenton right now. Nothing in the parking lots. Nothing with the state parking. I would assume they're suspending giving tickets to people who had to ride around town for a half an hour looking for a spot.
I've never seen a line this long going into the State House, ever.
Yeah.
Like they're giving away something for free in there.
No, the state doesn't give any away their slice of the pie. What are you kidding me?
No, they're going to pay money to somebody. Their lobbyists going to pay someone off.
You know the no free lunch? That's probably there for about lunchtime, isn't it?
Do lobbyists get free lunches? I wonder.
I don't know. Did we ever figure out what it was? Did somebody stand up for it? Did we know? Because they are here. They're going through it to get to where they're going, which means it's important to them. And I always like to know what's important to people, though. That's how you got to interact. I mean, whenever you cross paths
They're
with
here
somebody,
for a reason.
you got to know where.
Sir, what are you here
they're
for
at.
today? What are you here for? Alzheimer's. Oh, wow. So, okay. They're here for Alzheimer's. So, there it is. There's some compassion going on here.
Yeah, and you know what?
There's compassion.
The
in this
line that was here spoke louder than anything I'm going to hear in there if I were there. Good for you and everybody. Yeah,
Yeah, God bless you
right
guys.
at
I hope you're all here for that. That's amazing.
Oh, yeah.
That's amazing. Okay, good.
Yeah. Wow, that's how you do it then.
I want to know more.
You know.
Can I ask you a question?
Giving away butts?
Giving away, yeah, you want to hit?
I can't doubt
that was the joke for a lot of years, but ain't no joke no more.
Yeah, we can
it
smoke.
says so in the law. We could give you up to an ounce.
Joke number two is going to the weed store to go buy some medicine.
Yeah, right.
Hey, it's not where it should be, but we're here to make sure that patients have the right to grow some of their own. Because if you've ever known anybody to go buy some, it's expensive.
What are you here for? You're here for Alzheimer's?
I'm here to lobby.
To lobby for Alzheimer's.
Alzheimer's, yeah.
What do you have to do? What are you here to do?
Honestly, I don't know.
Is there a name of a group that we could give? I guess there is.
The Alzheimer's Association.
Alzheimer's Association.
Okay.
That's who you're for. Okay.
Good for them. We always look for when somebody is what motivates people, and Alzheimer's. That's it.
Yeah, I get it.
Tell me
Say no
anybody that you know that doesn't have somebody with personal experience in their family somewhere.
Yeah.
Do I know somebody who doesn't have?
Yeah,
Yeah.
right. I don't.
I don't.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
No, it's
So you have a chance of having an effect here today, and not just greasing the ski. You got a chance to
no,
move
I
something.
understand. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what we're here for.
Yeah,
Amazing.
There's no cure, progressive.
yeah.
And we're trying to slow it down and prevent it.
And it doesn't have to be that way. And I'm imagining, like most things, it comes down to proper funding.
Yeah.
And you need that.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
All right, guys.
Thank you.
My name is Jim
Good.
Miller.
I'm Lefty Grimes.
Pleasure to meet you, Jeremy Noctigal.
Yeah,
Take
good
care,
to meet you,
guys.
Jeremy. Hey, if you got a chance, look up Jim Miller. Google search Jim Miller marijuana, New Jersey, when you're just hanging around in there.
All right.
Yeah, you'll be amazed what you find.
That's Jim Miller.
Okay.
If I wasn't so old, I'd reach around and pat myself on the back, but I'd pull a muscle, and I'd have to explain that for about a week. And no thanks.
Yeah, I had relatives with Alzheimer's and dementia, both. It's
Yeah, it's pretty.
it affects the whole family because
and it takes away the most important part of life, the separation. Before it happens, you're denied access to that person. For Alzheimer's denies you access. Yeah. You know what? That's a way to start my day. Though. Just seeing anybody come out, and when I park down there, I'd have to walk by the state police guy going, "No parking." And you turn around, "No parking," and the look on people's faces, it wasn't like, "Oh no," it was like, "Oh, okay, I'm gonna get her." It was they weren't gonna. They're gonna find a
Let me
spot.
tell you something. It was pouring rain today, so you got people on this line here to fight fight against Alzheimer's in the rain. They were expecting to be in the rain, mind you.
Mm-hmm.
And sure enough, every time we come down here, the rain lifts up.
The rain stops for
It
us a lot.
stops for every time,
Yeah.
Jim. Why?
Sometimes it really starts pouring during it.
Yeah.
But then when it's time to wrap up,
Set
it's
up.
like, okay, they're going.
Set up and breakdown. It's always good.
You cue the clouds.
We have a guardian angel. I'm telling you, man.
Well, for all it does take, and all it's taken me for over 3 decades, there's a reward end that I think a lot of people that are cannabis consumers just don't know. It's just so close to them, right around the corner, It's how's it feel on the ride home every day? No matter what. On the way back, it was like, yeah, we did what it took. We've had to stop some tents from going somewhere. But right now we got Ratari kind of settled.
This is Ratari.
Yeah.
Here come the children and take pictures with Ratari. Kids,
Well,
this is what activism's all about, kids.
It's showing up.
We're activists, and we show up with a big inflatable rat to show our displeasure with our government.
Because we don't want sick people to have pain.
That's right. Sick people cannot get their medicine, so we blow up a huge rat here to show them that they're hurting us.
Yeah, but
That's right.
he's a friendly
rat.
yeah.
Rat.
You kids are going to enjoy Trenton. Have a good day.
Oh, yes. Oh, this is fun.
Let's right on.
This is fun. I love it. From the line of people in compassionate waiting to a bunch of kids coming over here.
You
to
know,
say, rat.
when I came up and I saw this line of people, there's you, the tent, and this line of people, and I'm like, man, Lefty got himself a posse today. What the hell? Then, of course, I saw the line stretching on inside. And being as I had to unload everything double parked here, then park and come back, I had to keep going through the line because the line stretched down past the main entrance into the annex. It was a good...
It was huge.
50 yards easy, you know, out here. And, you know, multiple three aside, you know, side. So what is, you know, if you're not on your phone, we're all you got to look at. So as we set up, it's like, how do we deal with this, the wind, how do we deal with that? And it was like a little show of cannabis consumers being pretty innovative with taking care of obvious problems. Look, they can't get the giant rat to hold the signs. What are they going to do? Boom, 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 boom. Look, he's tilting the other way. What's this guy doing? He's got some twine. He's got a little stick about 6 inches long with it. Oh, he's pushing it into the dirt on an angle and tying it back so he has tension the other way. You know, I got to fess up though. I worked extra hard to look casual as I could, you know. And you saw me one time. I looked up at Ratari.
You kicked him, right? Didn't you kick him?
No, I slapped him one time. Yeah.
He slapped
but you know.
in the face?
Yeah. No, on the chest. I tapped him, you know, little tap. And so that's the cue. It's like, okay. And there's no signs when you set up. Sativa Cross, no signs.
Sativa Cross.
No,
Put the flag
no
up.
idea.
Put the flag up. That's it.
So I had to walk in between the line, back and forth with the signs and the stuff I have. And then I first put the first one up, and you know, it became evident what we were here for. But then, you know, what an opportunity for me to announce to that line. I'll come up with actually, I'd say there was probably about 200 people in that line.
Is that Craig Coughlin?
No.
No, across the street. Craig Coughlin.
Yeah, across the street. Oh, the
Craig
whole
Coughlin.
don't say anything just yet then. Okay.
Jim, we need to get him over here.
Yeah, no.
I need to speak
It's
with
not
him.
going to happen. Why am I whispering?
That's him, right?
No, yeah. Hold on. Let me say something like.
Okay, say it loud.
And if the home grow bill.
Craig, come over, Craig. Craig, can we speak to you?
Assemblywoman Reynolds Jackson needs your permission to post the home grow patient bill for a hearing. Is it true that you have a hold on it the same way Senator Scutari has a hold? Is it the Coughlin-Scutari hold or the Scutari-Coughlin hold? Okay, I'm guessing Scutari-Coughlin. It's hurting people. They deserve a chance to have their medicine without totally going through their savings. It's information. Holding back that hearing is holding back information that other assemblymen need to have, by definition, a well-founded opinion on that bill. A little bit like censorship, don't you think? So today's like the gift that just keeps on giving. That's why we love Senate quorum days. And Assembly quorum today, I would assume. Good call. Lefty 1, Jim nothing. Well, that's why we're here. You don't know who's going to walk by. Now, when we were in front of the State House, years and years ago, before all that endless restoration, you know, we regularly had the governor coming by. So anyway, to have the
He's over there with those people.
Assembly president. Yeah.
Yes, the assembly president is with those people. He's with that group that just walked in
Well,
there.
the thing is, I reached out to Assemblyman Coughlin's office,
Should I go live? Walk over there?
trying to find out whether or not there is a hold on Assemblywoman Sheila Reynolds Jackson's assembly version of S 1393 in the Senate. Now, if there is a hold on it, that means no informational hearing, no vote anyway. It's a non-voting hearing, and there's only one reason somebody would not want that to be heard. It's the truth getting out in a committee hearing where committee members have the chance from both pro and con to ask questions of the people testifying. They have the right to do that. So if they want the best information on a bill possible, it comes from an informational hearing. Stopping that hearing is stopping the information. It's a health care issue. Health care. I know, it's not people trying to have a little bit of peace at the end of their life with cancer. They want to remain connected. They don't want to fade away into an opiate stupor at the end of their life or doing whatever else they're doing. What is that noise? I'm not doing it. Wow, man, it's kicking in.
I can't use my phone because it's tied into the mixer. So I couldn't go over there and talk.
You could have said a lot of other things and really had me going. Still there?
Are we still live? I might have pulled this offline. I don't even know. Oh my goodness.
Are they still there?
Yeah.
Really?
I would just go over there and ask him to come over and... ask him to come over and tell him, do your thing. Shit. We got Coughlin, right? Coughlin's like here. He's standing there talking to a bunch of people about something. And I'm sure it's important, but it can't be as important as home grow for the sick, the dying, and the disabled, which is what we're here for. And that's why we come to Trenton, because we want to talk to these guys. We want to talk to the assemblyman. Here we go. There he is. Assemblyman Coughlin. You signed an award for me. Please come over. Can we have 5 minutes to talk about home grow? Can we talk about... 5 minutes. Give us 5 minutes. What happened? Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. This is why we come here. Did anything today? What was that all about?
I did kind of ream him out on the way in, though.
You did?
Replay it.
I couldn't hear you. I can't hear you.
Yeah. No, not him in particular. Anybody in the way of the bill. I called his office trying to find out, and he's got to take his cue from Senate President Scutari, because that's the way it works. And it's not up to me to get into the weeds of, well, it shouldn't be that way. No, that's the way it is. The thing is, you got to define the playing field, recognize it, and then change what you can, but play where it's best for you.
What did you say to him? What did he say to you? Just now?
No, I just said, I had 3 copies of this. I said, if you have some time, you please read this. And he wasn't going to grab one, but the 2 people he was with reached over, so I had 3.
Okay.
Again, then I'll tell you what it was then. And then I said, listen, Google search Jim Miller medical marijuana, and then you'll see why we're here. How long till he comes across Cheryl, Cheryl could kick his ass from here to next Tuesday after being gone 22 years. Her footprint. Funny, for somebody who didn't walk all those years, she left a damn big footprint, man. What do you know about that? Okay, that's good. That's as good as we're going to do today. Let's go.
Let's
pack it up,
Pack
man.
it up. Came out of that building there. I saw it. I'm watching. I'm like, look at this guy. That's Craig Coughlin. That's got to be him. He came out of that building where a lot of stuff
Yeah.
happens in that building. I don't know what goes on over there, but a lot of things happen over there.
Well, I know one thing. When I was bringing those things over and looking like I was reading them, so I didn't have to walk up, I was angling over, and it was like slow motion of say a defensive player in football coming across the field to get somebody,
Angle of attack.
yeah, you want it, yeah. So I had to angle, decided where the meeting point would be, and
The
thing is,
I'm going to message him on Facebook right now. He's my friend on Facebook. I'm messaging him and telling him to come back here.
So, what I handed him was New Jersey, a medical cannabis home grow outlier state, and then this is basically direct. Identical versions of a bill must be passed in both the Senate and the Assembly before any bill can become law. If either legislative chamber amends an otherwise identical companion bill, the bill must then be amended identically in the other chamber as well before it can be signed into law. So I'm giving him a lesson in what he does. Bills not signed into law before the end of any 2-year legislative session expire. A primary sponsor of a bill can schedule an automatic reintroduction of that bill for the first day of the following legislative session, and it will be reposted then, but with a different bill number. Then in history. January 11, 2005, Senator Nick Scutari introduces a bill called the New Jersey Compassionate Use Medical Marijuana Act. If passed and signed into law, it would, among other things, allow registered cannabis patients to grow up to 6 plants. This is in 2005. Senator Scutari made sure that provision was getting through the Senate. It was assigned to the Senate Health Committee as Bill S. 2200. No action was taken, but the next year on December 15th, now S-119, was successfully passed out of the Senate Health Committee. Nick Scutari ushered the bill, the medical cannabis bill, ushered it through successful full Senate floor vote 2216, including its 6 plant per patient home grow provision. So, he did that. Now, Senator Coughlin probably have somebody read this. I'm sure, he may or may not. But the guys he's with, if they're going to read it, maybe he doesn't want to be the doofus that doesn't know what's in it afterwards, so maybe he will. But anyway, it comes all the way up to the hold. And the thing is, okay, let's see. Assemblywoman Verlena Reynolds Jackson followed Senator Singleton's lead, posting the identical companion bill in the Assembly, which was then referred to Herb Conaway. Assembly Health Committee Chairman Conaway responded by refusing to post it for an informational hearing in his Health Committee for the next 3 years. So, Assemblywoman Verlena Reynolds Jackson's identical companion bill to Senator Singleton's patient home grow bill in the Senate started out by being ignored by Assemblyman Conaway, who is now a congressman. He outran his mistake. That's the way you do it in business, too. If you can make a lateral movement, if you can outrun your mistake from the previous company. Anyway, so if what's he called? The leader of the president, the Assembly President Coughlin. He's Senator Scutari's counterpart. They're tied at the hip. And I imagine that one doesn't chastise the other very often. I mean, look how it worked when Senator Scutari in 2009 chastised Assembly Health Committee Chairman Herb Conaway, saying, "Come on, I got my bill passed. Get yours through. Let's go. Come on, get on." He was like bugging him, And then, much to Senator Scutari's surprise, when his wish came true and Herb Conaway, chairman of the Assembly Health Committee, did have it posted for a bill. And at the beginning of the hearing said there's been some changes made to the bill. I'm going to read those changes to you. There's going to be no discussion from anybody other than the sponsors of the bill. And that is the bill that we will pass here today. It was I don't know, it's not a compromise when it goes like that. And Herb did that at the end of the year, so Senator Scutari had a choice to make. Get the bill passed, signed into law early in 2010 in January, or maybe take another 2 years to get it done. He opted, I say correctly, others will disagree, that he operated correctly in getting as many patients off the battlefield as he could without Home-Gro, and then had the gall to promise to say we can revisit these provisions once the program's up and running, meaning the medical marijuana law. So, then he circled around when he's Senate president now, and he's got all the power to get done what he wanted done in 2009. Had the power to make it happen, and did the opposite. He circled around. He's like one of those blue angels. They go flying off, and the one kind of goes out of sight, and you don't know where. And you're watching the others. And it comes up from behind you, whoa, overhead, and everybody goes, whoa. You know, that's what he did. He went riding off into the sunset, everybody thinking he's our medical marijuana hero. He's the one that got it done. He got railroaded by Herb Conaway, but he got it done. Scutari got the job done. That's what everybody thought. Well, it did. In January, he got it done. And then the process got dragged out by Governor Christie. We all know about that. But while all that happened, Scutari was that blue angel that just flew off into the distance, and we didn't see him for a while. We were mad at Herb Conaway. There's all sorts of things going on. And then, he became Senate president. Now, Senate President Sweeney before him also did not allow this bill to be heard, but I heard, it's only a rumor, that Senator Sweeney wanted the program to at least get going a little bit, and except for they were talking about the adult program. So Sweeney and Scutari muddled the two together. Patients are caught in the very wide net. Boy, I wish I could do a magic trick. I wish I could do a magic trick right now. Hey, you want to see me make his nose disappear? No. Boom!
Ow!
You kids are really going to enjoy Trenton. This is where it all happens.
Yeah.
Pay attention. This is going to be really good to know.
We're the best activists in New Jersey. This is how you do it.
Trenton is where you can show up to, tell people they're doing something wrong. So pay attention, because you never know. 15 years from now, you're going to be passionate about a cause. There's going to be something going on in Trenton, and who knows? One of you might even become an assemblyman or a senator one day.
Yeah. Say hi to Assemblyman Coughlin. He's across the street somewhere. He's gone. Tell him we need help. Tell him the patients need help. Yeah. Yeah. Woo woo. Yeah. Yes. 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 The children are the future. They're going to learn a lot today. Always question everything, kids. Always question everybody, especially your teachers. Oh, you get the look. I got the look. Always question things. That's why we're here. We're questioning why we're still waiting. Why are we still waiting here in New Jersey for legal cannabis? Why are we still waiting for the sick and dying and disabled to get what they need? People with cancer go to jail for a year for a plant that God put here? God put that plant here. And you want to send somebody to jail for using a plant for their cancer because they can't afford their medicine, so they grow it at home. They grow their cannabis at home and they go to jail.
You know, it's always, to me, a little bit of a misnomer when somebody's growing something, including cannabis. It's grown itself. Did your mom grow you? No, you grew.
She cultivated me.
Yeah. So what I'm saying,
All right, well, I got
what
one
I'm
for
saying,
you.
yeah, you're
I got one for you.
cultivating it. Yeah.
I got one for you.
I'll bet you got 2 or 3, but go ahead, give
I
me
got
the
one for you.
Yeah.
The entourage effect.
The entourage effect. You know, I like that.
Debunked.
No, I like that because what happens is some people, what do they call it other than entourage? It's called the
Ensemble.
ensemble. Okay.
Ensemble effect.
So the entourage effect is like, well, when one drug or method of help has other things that happen with it. Would that be like side effects? But they're good, a lot of them. You know, in other words, it does more than one good thing. So the entourage effect is, an entourage is your posse, your crew, you know. Doesn't mean they're doing squat. It means they're there. The ensemble. An ensemble is where everybody plays a part. It's a group that operates to have a final product that you need others to do exactly the right thing at the right time. A barbershop quartet, for instance.
A symphony.
Yeah.
Everybody's playing a part.
But if it was an entourage effect, you'd have one barber singing, maybe a guy sweeping the floor, you know, and a couple guys just...
No, that would mean they're
passing
doing
time.
something. No, the floor sweeper's doing something. The entourage are just hangers-on, leeches. They're parasites. They're not doing anything. So
Yeah.
that's the entourage effect has been debunked, ladies and gentlemen. Debunked.
So, like, I'm sitting to your left is like an alleged co-conspirator here, and am I your entourage? Is that what you're saying?
No, we're an ensemble.
Okay.
We are an ensemble. I see that. I didn't know that
I
until
would've-
we
yeah.
spoke to. Who did we speak to about that the other day? It was. Oh my goodness.
Was it Sue? No.
No. The great guest, Wolf.
Oh, yeah.
Wolf was talking about it.
Yeah.
And I never thought about the entourage versus ensemble. But it makes sense because I just say, oh, I used to walk around. I thought I was smart. Entourage effect. Oh, I'm smart. Entourage. No, I'm an idiot. It's ensemble.
Yeah. It took me a while to get the synergy thing, you know.
I love that, though. I love it.
Yeah.
'Cause it's
You know,
true.
I like it, but the definition, the synergy is when the total is greater than the sum of the parts. Yeah. Now I said it right,
Yes.
but about 1 out of 3 times, it's like throwing darts with words. You never know where they're going to land. You know, they come out, but in order to.
You're doing good with your words today, Jen.
Yeah. Well, you know, it's fun when you already meet your quota of things you would hope would happen in a day.
It's gravy now.
To have a captive audience and. I'll be right back.
We spoke to more people today.
You know how I own my pothead mistakes. You didn't notice, but if you were looking this way, you would have seen me do this. I was going to take my headphones off, and they're sitting right in front of me. See that? I go through pains to out myself, and I don't know why. Do I have no self-respect?
We would never have known.
I know. I do it all the time. I mean, we were just doing our band practice thing the other day, and I was playing a Tom Petty song. I had the harmonica on, and nobody saw when I went up, and I had it down below my mouth, and but instead I went in and blew into the microphone rather than the harmonica, and they didn't catch it, and I was just like laughing my ass off, you know. But then, see, we were singing the. Get to the point, smoke another joint, and I start that by taking a big toke and exhaling it through the harmonica while beginning the song. You know, so I can generally get that out, but it produces a cough because I'm old. So then then the others got to maintain the beginning until I'm done coughing. And it's like it's a standard beginning if we're, you know, we're not a band. We don't play out. But we could.
You played here at the State House.
We did. That's the one time we played anywhere. Right here at the State House, you know. So when we played Won't Back Down, I got to look up at the office windows there, you know. And the harder they come, the harder they fall, one and all, you know. Tell me of a pie up in the sky waiting for me when I die, but between the day you're born and when you die, they never even hear you cry. Sure as the sun will shine, I'm going to get my share of what's mine. The harder they come, the harder they fall. One and all. Yeah, it was fun to sing that, you know. My first of the afternoon. And with all that, we got set up
It's still
at
morning.
11:11.
It's still morning. Is it still wake and bake?
So Sue may call in today just to add some more perspective to
Very
whatever we're involved in.
We've had some great guests. Thank you, Sue. Amazing guests this year.
Oh, man.
Amazing. Like, Wolf Siegel.
You have to really take... You had enough really quality guests that I reticent to start naming them because I don't want to leave anybody out.
No, they're all good. They're all amazing.
You know, it's when you can learn at your own podcast.
Oh yeah, I
There's
like
nothing
that.
better than that.
I like when I have to
Okay,
replay it.
There's lots of things better.
Well,
than that,
there's
you
a
know
few,
what
but
yeah.
replaying the podcast to make sure I got something right.
Now with the headphones on, I hear my own voice. It sounds more suitable. I sound like nasally, whiny a little bit in my own ears, though.
That's why I like the
Not
microphone.
when I do this.
Because you get on the headphones.
But when I was reading like that, I didn't get to hear it. I just sounded
Oh.
stupid without these on. I probably sound stupid now too, but it's just kind of fun because there's people out here, you know. I'm pretty good at estimating people in a crowd, and I counted 300 at the Save Our Medicaid thing I was at with Steve Way here like 2 months ago. So the way they were lined up, it was about the same amount. I would say it was probably 275 people in line. And, it, you know, not back and back. They were in groups. So, you know, they merged up at the metal detector, I guess. So you're like a technician, a host, a cameraman. I'm glad Sue was able to step in and start scheduling your guests. And not just because, you know, we have guests that are... You know, sometimes I think they're too good of a guest for us, you know. I don't know why I would think that. But one thing I can tell you about your guests on Thursday, the Thursday guests. So we're back.
Sorry about that.
This is one of the busiest days I've seen in Trenton in quite a while. Man, isn't it nice not to be in school today? Yeah, huh? Right? Yeah, the thing is, you are in school, you just don't know it. School is wherever you're being taught something. And if you learned anything today, you were in school today, just not a normal one. You were here. I don't know, but one of you is probably going to end up being a senator or an assemblyman or woman one day.
Because of today.
Yep.
Because you're here today,
Yep.
it's going to excite you, and you're going to want to get involved and become an assemblyman or a senator.
Nonetheless, it's pretty cool not to be in your normal class, though, isn't it? Yeah.
You're going to learn today.
That was nice, you know. I think that's what I like best is seeing. You know, this is a great place for a class trip. Is that what it's still called? Is there a new word for that?
Class trip?
Well, I don't know. You know, sometimes I say something and somebody like 40 years younger tell me I'm saying it wrong, you know. And then I think back to when I was that age and I'm like, yeah, I was correcting people all the time. So, funny thing is, when I'm being corrected by somebody way younger than me, like still in high school, and they're right. And again, like, I love that, it doesn't make me feel bad. And yet, I gotta be honest with you. Sometimes I do something really right, and it ends up being something so simple that works, and has to do with cannabis reform. It threatens some other advocates that's so simple, it can't be effective, So what happens is it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy where people don't help,
Yep.
and then it's not effective, perhaps.
Yeah.
And that's pretty much common to the human population. I'm not saying cannabis consumers should be smart enough to know that you can learn from people that otherwise know far less than you about something. Back in my day, when I was occasionally having people work for me in construction, I'd hire somebody new. They might not have any experience at all, and I'd tell them, if you have an idea, something, I want to hear about it. What I don't ever want to hear you say is, oh, I should have mentioned something. The guy I just worked for showed me how to do it, or whatever, And I always took great joy in learning something from somebody with like 6-month experience when I was like a young man in my second decade of doing stuff. So I don't know. Is that something that changed, or was it always like that? So here we are, out in front of the State House. The other continuing State House podcast, who was it that... Oh, no, there isn't one.
There isn't one.
Yeah.
Wait, how about in Utah? No. California? No.
No, I mean a regularly scheduled outside podcast.
At the State House?
Rain or shine.
Rain or shine?
Yeah.
For 11 years?
Huh.
That's us.
But wait, the first 3 years, it was every Thursday.
Oh, wow. I don't know how we
For
did that.
8 months of the year. We did 106 podcasts in a 3-year period.
That was insane.
And I missed like 4,
And we had a lot of people here. A lot of people were here those days. They would come and just set up a lawn chair and a picnic table and chill out.
At my count, Governor Christie engaged with us either 12 or 13 times. It was twice on the last day. One coming in and going out.
Yeah.
And you didn't call him a pussy. When he walked by the first time and ignored, and Leo Bridgewater, veteran, was here, and you said you're walking right by a veteran. You're ignoring a veteran, Governor Christie.
Yeah, he ignored a veteran.
And then when he got up the steps, much to my surprise, and I was watching him when I heard you say it, I kid you not, his head wasn't inside or outside. It was right in the middle of that doorway when in the silence ensuing, come on, Governor, don't be a pussy. You didn't call him one.
No, I said,
he said, don't be one.
Don't be one, ever.
Yeah.
Never be one.
And how did he react to that? He didn't go in the side door, which many other people did. Used to be that's where the old state police office was downstairs. So anyway, when Christie always came in the front door right by us, and then he would have something to say real quick. I mean, he wouldn't stop often.
At least he had some balls. I appreciate it.
He didn't go in the side door. I don't like anything about the way he dealt with us. But then, we gave it to him good. I mean, come on.
He faced us.
We had cones. He was in trouble for, oh, no, there were cones at the George Washington Bridge, parking 3 lanes coming out of Fort Lee, causing gridlock. Oh, what's going on? It turns out, oh, no. It was called a traffic study, picture air quotes, traffic study. And it was found out to be obviously a crock of shit. I believe he didn't know. That was overzealous people that thought this would make him happy. And then he had to pay the price. So we set up cones blocking off. It didn't block them. They're 3 feet apart. But basically cutting the stairway into thirds with them coming out and then angling all the way. Maybe 40 cones, I think it was. And he would walk right through the middle, like the foot traffic study, we called it,
Do we have video of that somewhere?
Yeah, we do. But what would happen one day, the state trooper came out and walked over, and he said, "I don't know if you can do this." And he said something about, indicating that we were corralling, telling people where to walk or something. And I said, if you wanted to really make your case, you shouldn't have walked through the cones to get here. See, now you
Should've kicked
can't.
a few out of the way.
No, now you can't tell me that it's some sort of problem of walking through the cones, And then,
Kept you in line.
the thing is, we didn't just come one day with cones. We had 4 9-inch cones, just because they were cones, haha. And then we had 4 19-inch ones. And somebody donated 4 more, and then we had 4 on each side, and people started donating money for cones. So we ended up with a whole bunch.
Right, they did.
And it worked. We did that for 2 years. And then he was gone. Oh, and I've always wondered, Lefty, did you do that on purpose? The last day when he was going, he was Donald Trump's guy in D.C. when he was running for president. So what happened was he was like really valuable, and then came the transition, and Governor Christie didn't have squat to do with the transition. And it was kind of looking like that might be the case when he went off, It was kind of up in the air. And you said something about not coming back or whatever, to Trenton. And he goes, we'll see about that. And he said it a little like, what's this guy needling me? I don't think I'm coming back. I think I'm getting outed.
I thought I was being nice to him.
No, you meant to. But if you kept really uptight on what was going on, you'd know that there was a problem. He wasn't included in something, and who knows what. And then, not to give him credit or anything, but then there he is on like MSNBC explaining what Trump's doing wrong when he was, and I thought, well, what's he got to lose, I guess. Oh man, that was some strange times. But then the joy of Governor Murphy faded pretty quick when it comes to cannabis issues.
Yeah, after the first 100 days, what happened?
Well, see, he was the one that ran on it would be legal in 100 days or whatever. He ran on cannabis legalization. It was a big part of his campaign. And he was certainly desperate to follow through. So he did want to get that done, However, it was all about revenue. So the idea of home grow, once it became legal at the ballot box without it saying home grow, everybody expected home grow. Again, why would anybody expect that in New Jersey?
Well, we voted for the constitutional right to grow cannabis. I thought the constitutional rights were for us, not industry.
No, I read that there was nothing in that said, or do you want the constitutional right, See, that's the assumed
It
part.
said they changed the Constitution, and it said cultivation was part of it.
But what you read at the ballot box
was cultivation.
Cultivation. Then all the rest is, that's how it works.
How come we can't cultivate, but the businesses can?
Well, there you go. It's a slice of the pie. The businesses can. Some gets into the treasury. We grow it. No money gets into the treasury unless, of course, there was a service fee for, well, if you're going to grow it, you have to grow it from state approved seeds or clones or whatever, And then they're going to, if they do legalize it, don't think it won't come without a yearly fee of some sort for patients. So you don't tax medicine, but they'll assess a fee. It's New Jersey. People that aren't from New Jersey are surprised when I tell them, no, it's like you think it is. Where's my slice of pie? And then what do I got to do to get it? So anyway, I think over the years we've learned you have to understand the playing field, but it's not going to make sense. There's like some pretty bizarro, unspoken things that go on. Anyway, we're left to assume because there's not a lot of what you call transparency going on. And that's what we try to offer here. I mean, I don't know what people standing in line before thought about patient home grow, but I think they know who's holding it up now. think they got an idea. Oh yeah, and I was going to take these off before.
About 300 people got the message.
You know, that was 300, but then that 300 was in, and there was still 275 out here.
Yeah, there was a...
And then that 275 went in, and then there was still another, you know. The line didn't get shorter for an hour. Didn't get shorter. I had to excuse myself going through the line with what I was carrying, with everybody else heads down, thumbs ablazing, you know, and I'm like, they're going to take a step forward and get batted in the head with a foam board, you know. I don't want to start the day like that.
One guy was yelling at me about the Christian music. He's like, put on some music about your shirt, which is a big pot leaf on it. He wanted pot music. So I put on some Johnny Cash because he smoked weed.
Oh, yeah. And finally, it was fun to see it happen. That forming the Coalition for Medical Marijuana in New Jersey in 2003, every time we tabled, got any samples? And every time, and I always took that as like it's an insult. No, this is about sick and dying people. It's not about giving you a sample. You know, if we had medicine for patients, I wouldn't give you that. No. And I think one time maybe here it was like, well, you're a patient or somewhere. But the thing is, when the man going in there for the Alzheimer's discussion, you know, and the Alzheimer's Association, you know, he comes over. What did he say? Got any samplers? Did you have one? And you said, yeah, here, you want? Yes. No. You know, yeah, we can smoke here. You know, it was, the tide went the other way right then for all those years of, you know, hey, this is funny. You got a sample? It's like I told him, yeah, we'd be allowed to give you up to an ounce, but we won't. He was nice. I liked that he came back, too, because I think he liked it. We were interested and supportive, you know, the amount of people here and the passion they must have, because Alzheimer's touches everybody's family pretty much.
Yeah. I think everybody knows a family member that had Alzheimer's. Or dementia, for that matter. Dementia's like, I think, even worse.
Now,
I'm sure the same, but just as bad, because, you know.
I'm probably not out of line wondering, out of all things cannabis is good for. I don't believe I've ever heard anything about it helping anybody with Alzheimer's. See, the thing is there a possibility that -2 times -2 is +4? So Alzheimer's, you know, and then pot, like, hey man, I forgot. You
maybe
know, the reputation of forgetting when you smoke cannabis, you know, that Alzheimer's and that maybe you would, you know, maybe it would help.
Maybe sativa would help Alzheimer's.
There, you know, I'm gonna look. I'll look that up.
Something, you know, to get your brain, you know, moving.
Yeah, I'll look that up. I mean, I could ask.
Could be a thing.
I could ask my answering machine here, and it would tell me the answer.
Okay, ask it, and let's try to listen.
No, I'm not going to do it. You just want to laugh at me. You know I'll screw it up.
No, do it.
No, you know I'm going to screw it. You want to do it,
I'll do it. Do it. Set it up. Okay. What's the question? How does cannabis help? Does cannabis help Alzheimer's? Does cannabis help Alzheimer's? Let's ask that question. Ask, who are you asking? Siri, AI? Who are you asking? I don't even know who to ask anymore.
I'm asking.
There's so many people to ask.
It doesn't want me to reply. Don't reply.
Don't reply?
Yeah, my machine's saying don't reply to Lefty.
Oh, really?
That's freaking scary.
What? Does Alzheimer's... Wait, does cannabis help Alzheimer's?
Okay, I'm using voice recognition, so, you know.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, go for it.
Does cannabis help Alzheimer's patients? Question mark.
Put it up to the mic. Is she going to answer?
Well, I don't know if it's going to...
Oh, sometimes they talk.
Yeah.
Okay.
The effects of cannabis on Alzheimer's patients are still under investigation, and while some potential benefits have been observed, more research is needed to draw firm conclusions. Wait. That was written in 1992
Whoa.
No, and they just change MS. The effects of cannabis on multiple sclerosis patients are still under investigation, and while some potential benefits have been observed, the effects. No, that's what I'm saying is that is the standard
The form letter.
hand form letter
a form-
that I had to deal with for decades starting in
Oh.
1991.
Oh. Are you
Yeah.
kidding me right now?
No, listen, that is so familiar to me. You know, it's like hearing a bedtime story you didn't hear since you were a kid, and it's like brings you right back. Oh, yeah. You know, this was the nightmare of then.
Oh boy.
Yeah, that's that's what the
That's
National Multiple Sclerosis Society said that every time I got in touch. You know, so that's why that picture of Cheryl. Me pushing her at the head of the Cures Not Wars parade down Fifth Avenue in 1997, and she had a sign on top of her chair with thousands of people there marching down Fifth Avenue. Said the MS Society's Dr. Reingold is a medical marijuana liar and coward. And then we went and tried to deliver the sign to him at 733 3rd Avenue, where the National Multiple Sclerosis Society was, and he was there, but he wouldn't come down and accept it. You know. See, now I hear how that sounds when I relate that to you. And yeah, I had to turn over every stone I could. The one thing you can't do with any patient, especially MS patients, is run out of options. A lot of people aren't aware, but anybody that remembers Dr. Kevorkian, Dr. Death, he would help people die, and it was like it was really a human. You know, it was against the law. His patients, give or take half, were multiple sclerosis patients, and a woman in Lakewood used his services. Lakewood, we were living in Toms River, it's big news. She went to wherever he was, or a motel. You know, he would come, and it would how they would do it, and it was big news. And so I read that to Cheryl, you know, and she absorbed what I was saying, and I looked at her because we were doing everything we could. I mean, and I said, I can't tell you how happy I am that you'd never think of doing that. And her expression was different than anything I was much used to, and all she said was, "Don't assume. Don't assume." Oh, see, and yesterday would have been Cheryl's 79th birthday.
Happy birthday, Cheryl. Wow.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah, that changed my outlook, and that meant that I would do anything. Yeah, that's why. Okay. Oh, she's like, hey, it's never been tested. It's never been tested. You know.
There's Charlie. Charlie.
What's up?
All right. Go home, grow. Charlie, what are you here for today?
Here to overturn
The Kill Perk Bill.
Kill Perk bill.
What's that?
The bad bill called the gag rule. It stops many fucking students from speaking out here. So I'm trying to.
Wow. There we go.
Oh, get in hell.
Nice, Charlie.
Yeah.
Charlie Cradle from
I'd say
New
good
Brunswick
luck,
today.
but no luck necessary with you.
New Brunswick Today. Charlie from New Brunswick Today. I tell you, man, he's really been reporting on Edison a lot lately, and he was part of that flag ban. He was reporting on the flag ban in Edison, and that one video of the chief with the belly bump got 3 million views. 3 million.
What was the name of that bill? Forgot.
No, I couldn't hear it actually.
Okay.
Really couldn't hear it.
No, you phonetically, you know,
Some
answered him back close enough, and then he said it.
We'll have to play it back, but I couldn't really hear him. But I can look it up. But it's about the students being able to speak their mind.
Yeah.
And
Well, I'm glad it's going to get coverage. You know?
I'm looking around today because there's a lot of action here, and there's no rain, so people are walking around.
Well, whenever, I look for the pin on a lapel, I mean, it's not always going to be a legislator necessarily, but sometimes, I mean,
No, I saw that guy's little head over there. I'm like, that's Coughlin. I saw the head. There's only one head like that in Trenton. I said, that's him. That's him.
It's funny because head used to be what pot smokers were called 50 years ago.
I know that head anywhere.
That's funny. Yeah, now you got me. I should have brought binoculars. You know what I used to like to do in Washington because I was there a lot. 3 bells, 3 bing, bing, bing. That's when the committee hearing's starting. You know, or that's the call. I forget which. Maybe 2 means 10 minutes.
Okay.
And then 3 is 10 minutes later. But when that would happen, you could go outside any committee room and there'd be congressmen and women there. I would have a directory, a congressional directory, and I'd get at one end, and I'd look around, and they had pictures in the, and they started as like birds on a wire. They all started facing the other way. So if there was like 60 people, like 50 would be facing the other way,
man.
And then I could just walk the other way.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, it was kind of fun. I mean, and it's always seems to me a little odd that in Washington they don't say, what's your business here? You're going into a congressional office building. My business is getting by your metal detector, you know? And then you can walk into any office. Well, walk in. The door is either open or it says, walk in. And there'll be somebody there to blow you off, How can I help you? Are you a constituent?
Mm-hmm.
And they get rid of half people if not constituents.
Turn your camera off.
Of course, that's when...
Are you videotaping me without my permission?
Yeah, well, as you know, what I love doing, and I will share because it's not just about us, there's other people here, is I would walk into a congressional office in a building, into an office of somebody from anywhere in the country. I was trying to help get studies for cannabis in veterans, and there was a combat veterans 50 were going to be in a test that was FDA approved, and still wasn't able to get the material for the test. So finally FDA approved. So I got letters from veterans all over the country, and I would walk into an office, and it might be Colorado or something, and hi, can I help you? So I wanted to talk about, are you a constituent? And I'd say no, and then nod to Blazing Saddles. Let me whip this out. And I'd take out the letter, and I'd say, this is from, and tell her who it was and his address and his street, and say, just let me read the first line of this. It says, I would appreciate it when Jim Miller, it's me, hand delivers this to somebody at your office, and then the name of the building. I would appreciate it if somebody on staff would talk to him about my points of view. He can aptly represent it. In other words, I was their agent. Everyone worked. I would love it saying, you know what, if you're going to tell me to leave, even though I got this letter, I can't make all my office visits. So I'm okay with that. I don't know how it's going to work out for you. And, you can have fun. I mean, one woman with blonde hair pulled back so tight, her face seemed to be stretching.
That's
really didn't like what I was doing there. And, and I took out a pen and paper and went, blonde woman at desk glaring downward while I talk. And I'd go, I got to make notes. I forget stuff, But you know why I would do that too? Even for good office visits, when you leave, stop everything, make notes. A guy at the door, Keith, you describe whatever, 6 months later, you look at your notes, guy at the door, Keith, and they walk in, that's his description. Keith! And he looks up, you got him on their heels. He remembers you, not your name, and you see how simple that is, though? That's the style. You know who told me that? Nobody. It's a combination of the things that people do teach you, that you can put them together maybe in a different configuration, and it will have an entourage effect.
No, we're not doing that anymore. We're doing an ensemble effect from now on.
Yeah.
If you say entourage effect, I'm going to give you a Mo, Larry, and Curly slap.
Yeah, well,
Because I was slapped when they told me that. I was like, "Oh, I've been saying it wrong all these years." I felt like an idiot. I'm like, you know what? He's right. And it was a conflict between two doctors. It was Mashula had the original. He said ensemble, and somebody else took it and said entourage. Right?
yeah, well, it's people have different opinions on, and they're rooted in something logical too. I mean, that one makes perfect sense. But Al Byrne, formerly of Patients at a Time, he would always say it's PTS. I mean, not PTSD,
PTS.
just PTS.
Yeah.
What's PTSD stand for? Post-traumatic stress.
Yeah, they don't want it to be a disorder.
No, but what's the D stand for?
disorder?
Disorder. It's not a disorder.
Right. That's why we don't use it.
Yeah. So, yeah, Al made great sense. And the thing is, I did that a lot, but then I'd get corrected. Then I would have to say that. Now, I would like to always be able to have that be a teaching moment, but sometimes it ruins a flow of what you're saying, and you want to just finish that. Now, that could be a rationalization that I made as I heard my own words, how they sounded. But, Jim, wouldn't it be important enough to do? Yeah. So, anyway, and then there was the advent of cannabis. We passed a medical marijuana law, not a medical cannabis law. And, we passed a medical marijuana law. So, somewhere along the way, it morphed over into being actually more acceptable. But way back when 1 person out of 100 called it cannabis, it was like, what are you trying to look like a professor? It's like, and then you hear, what do you mean there's more than one kind? Oh, there's like sativa and indica, they're different. Nah, you're full of it. I used to be the smartest one in the room about marijuana. Right about the time it became cannabis, I was below in the bottom half. So many people, can you believe the intelligence of some of the people about cannabis that, oh yeah, and what about Nathan? Man. Nathan Johnson, right?
Nathan Johnson.
Yeah.
Georgia.
He's kind of an enigma, You talk to him, and then you talk to him about cannabis. And I just love, it's something so engaging the way he talks, that he'll start telling you something. And the way he expresses himself is so easy to listen to, But then he uses words I've never heard, and when you see him in print, it's a medical term that's like 16 letters long, and he does it, he's so smart. And it's all about the benefits of it in a way. And then he finds out he's got stage 4 prostate cancer. So if I understand him right, he's just going to go into overdrive treating himself like a lab rat. And maybe not doing some things everybody else would do. He's like, don't anybody else try this. It's not to be an example, to be followed. I feel bad for him, I mean, how could you not? Oh, it's not like just anybody. He's also got the tentacles of having been in prison, where he's still in the system to the point that some of what he wants to study could land him back in jail, And if we know Nathan, he's going to catalog this all, and there'll be video, and we'll get to watch.
Is there medical cannabis in his state?
Alabama. I don't think
No, he's in Georgia, right?
Georgia. It's the same thing, isn't it?
I think so.
No, that's Floribama. Okay. Yeah.
No, Atlanta. No, Virginia has home grow. Georgia? I don't know.
I'm imagining not. Why would that be? I don't know. I'm not trying to profile a state for anything except for I don't know. Oh, come on. I'll beat you to it. Let's race. Old man gonna win. Old man gonna win. Da, 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 da. Does Georgia have medical marijuana?
Possession of 1 ounce or less is a misdemeanor, punishable by 1 year in prison. It doesn't talk about medical.
How about 1 year, but can you get time already served?
Yeah. Patients with a qualifying condition must first consult their physician,
Yeah.
registering with the card.
Yeah, well, is there any homegirl law? Would be it, because they would have to try to work within those boundaries.
Okay.
It's always sad when something like that happens, but
In Georgia, it is illegal for individuals to grow cannabis at home for recreational use. Cultivating marijuana, even for personal use, is a felony, can carry serious penalties, hefty fines, imprisonment.
well, would that include medical? Because if they have medical law and it just says cannabis is for adults, you
Yeah.
can't grow.
Medical use. Georgia's medical cannabis program allows for the cultivation of cannabis with low THC content, but only by licensed entities. These entities are authorized to grow cannabis for the production of medical cannabis oil, which is then dispensed to...
And they
Is that
they
homegrown?
don't even say CBD or anything like that. I mean, yeah, that's what they're talking about, I would imagine.
It's all low CBD. It's all low THC content.
Well, that just said with no THC, what you read, if that was actual statutory talk.
Georgia's medical program permits the cultivation of cannabis with no more than 5% THC.
THCA? Hey, listen, we started our law here with the exact same thing, only it was 10,
Yeah.
if you remember. And then it was like, yeah, well, THCA, LMNOP, and therefore you can certainly get it at a higher
Well, wait a
level than that.
A grower's license is $50 per acre. So you can grow an acre of weed on your property as a patient?
Has to be your property?
Wait a minute.
Well, now this is, you're still talking about Georgia.
Georgia. We need to ask our
Well,
expert.
I only care about Georgia because of Nathan.
Yeah, let's talk to Nathan about this next week.
Yeah, and that was, of course, was that Sue getting him as a guest or you, Nathan?
I think he reached out. I think
Yeah,
one of us reached out.
yeah.
Yeah.
It might have been him, I think.
I think he reached out to us.
Yeah, he was a surprise to me, pleasant surprise.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I wish he would come here to the State House in Jersey. Oh, forget about it.
You know what Kathy noticed about you when we have a good guest on? You don't say much.
What am I going to say?
I know.
Makes jokes?
No. I mean, you're always. I see you. You're engaged. You know. But no, she said that like that, right? Yes, that was giving you credit. you
Yeah.
know?
Well, between you
Yeah.
and Bucket Man at the time,
Yeah.
Bucket Man was a great addition because he would just, he would ask good questions too. I like that.
Well, I make notes while they're talking, and then well, you know that, and I try to get it in all one thing. But sometimes it is interesting, like David Grinspoon was on. I mean, I was able to talk to him about the time Cheryl and I met his father, and how we had time in the elevator, and that his dad, Lester was a big deal. And it was at a normal conference. He was a keynote speaker on Sunday morning. And he started out what he had to say by talking about Cheryl and me for about 45 seconds in the most flattering, embarrassing way for me, because we were in a balcony area because it was easier with the wheelchair. It was a good thing for me to have Cheryl there. And most people are on the floor, so they were all turned around looking up at us. And if Chad Ray, he took video. He had a monstrous TV-sized camera back then, and he turned it and had it on. And he doesn't know where it is. He didn't ever throw anything away, but he didn't file things like Pete Christopher used to tell you and Gary that you have to do, But anyway, I still hold out hope that I could see that, you know. So anyway, it was good though to talk to his son about that, and then other good guests as well, you know.
I got to tell you, this rat is good for 30 people. Because it's getting people to look, people taking pictures, people are pointing, smiling, reading. They're reading the signs that are on there.
Rattari's really settled down. Oh yeah, and you know what was fun is this is right there. There's probably within 25 feet, 50 feet, there's probably 75 people like right here.
Stuck
Still
online, stuck here.
And we're not talking, we're just methodically doing it. But then even with that, he's leaning this way. So I have my tripod sign and your
Yes.
water jugs for weight. And the tripod thing with the bottom connected like that and the water jug, it stopped him from moving over. And then when he started coming back, the twine tied to the little turnbuckle thing there and going forward, but I had nothing to stake anything with. But you know, all that rain and I was able to get a stem of about a 4-inch, like fairly thick stick at an angle, and then it was quiet. I could feel, like I could feel being watched. Because I was doing it like this was my job.
You're on stage.
No, you know how you... And I was doing it like... And I... You know... You didn't see. I tried it out behind Rattari first to see if they would... But I did, and it didn't take that long. But you might have noticed he smiled like he got... It's like I'm in front of a class, you know, with a bunch of interns. Like, wow, what's he gonna do now? So I turned and I almost mimed without miming. I turned and looked, put my hand on my head like I'm thinking. Then I looked up, over, back down there, and back over there.
Slowly I turned.
Then I went like this. I went like, aha. And then I went and it fixed it in about, 30 seconds because I already had the twine cut, you know. It's like cheating. That's being manipulative though, isn't it? Think about it, though. I mean, if we are representatives of the cannabis community, I think we represented well in that time, you know. And every time, you know, you were talking about, like, when you could work in a Jesus Loves You or something, you know. It was fun because you could figure they're 70% sure you're not kidding. Not 80 or 90 though. I mean, look at you.
Some people were laughing, smiling.
Yeah.
There was actually a preacher online with a collar, white collar.
Yeah.
So
it was just weird having that audience that wasn't an audience, but man, they were captive. They, you know.
Captive audience. We're playing Christian music and they're looking at medical cannabis protest signs and a rat.
Well, you know.
Like, say honk for home grow! Honk for home grow! Yes! Yes!
Got the sign out there. Extra credit for
Extra
that.
credit, yes. That's great.
Honk.
Honk, 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 honk.
I forgot about the sign. Yeah, we got a honk for home grow sign on the back of Lefty's vehicle, which is just before the crosswalk, so there's not another vehicle behind it.
It's on the vehicle?
No, it's taped to it.
It's taped to the vehicle?
Yeah.
I see it on the ground over there.
Yeah, you see it Dude, I was on my game setting up today.
No wonder people are beeping. Now I get it. Oh, okay.
I'm full service.
This is delayed reaction.
But somebody walking, going, like miming, honking,
That's great.
going honk, honk,
Honk, honk, honk. That's great. That made my day too.
How many ways has your day been?
Well,
made?
that made my day almost as good as Coughlin ignoring us.
Yeah, well, talking with Coughlin for a second was fun. And then talking about him, I thought he went in the building. Now you're telling me that when I was talking, not about him, but about what's going on with this bill not being heard. And it's the same bill in the assembly, with which he is not allowing
Yeah.
Assemblywoman Verlina Reynolds Jackson to
Get over
post it, not allowing her
Get
to do
over
it.
here. Come here, Craig. 5 minutes. 5 minutes of your time.
Yeah,
Craig,
well,
for
yeah,
cancer
you know,
patients.
it's sort of like, come on, jump off the cliff here.
5 minutes for cancer. Come on, Craig. 5 minutes.
Listen, you were like 2 shouts away from doing the same thing to Christy. You did to Christy. Come on, don't be a pussy. Anyway, it was just nice because I'm finding myself. I mean, I know nobody looking can see what we're looking at specifically, but that we can see a really pretty long way into the U-shaped building up towards the fountain, and with him being there and me talking in, it's very quiet. He could hear, and I was being good. I mean, look at it later. Go look at the replay. That'll be really fun because now we'll know he was here. I thought he went in. I thought he was going in the building, and then when I walked over to give him, and then he was walking back to angle like, okay, if I go straight over here, he's going to pass it.
Yeah.
So I angled towards the corner, looking at what I was going to hand him, and having pretty much the assessment of where we are now on 2 pages that I really worked out well, having a couple of them. So when I went over to said, here, he smiled nicely, and, he wasn't going to stop walking. I think he even picked it up a little notch, But he had a gentleman, a nice guy, to the right of him and the left of him. And when I had these 3 things, I said, here, if you'd read this, I think it'll explain why we're doing what we're doing. And as he kind of smiled and kept walking, the guy nearest turned around, reached for one. The other guy slowed down, stopped, so he had to as well. And they all got one. Now, like I was saying then, I'm not saying he's going to stop and read it, but he's smart. He'll have somebody on staff read it, see if it's anything he should know about. I mean, that's what you do.
What was that, staffers or bodyguards? What was that?
No, I think they were, I don't reckon 80 assemblymen, but I would think that, I don't know. I didn't look for the pin. I lost a step then. I've lost a step. I would have always looked for the pin. You got to look for the pin. You're coming back, right? He just gets up and leaves. Yes, what a day in Trenton today. Unbelievable. Yeah, it's good look, isn't it? Yeah. It's it's a little more minimal signage, which was good, and that was because it was kind of windier earlier and not really rainy. But when Lefty gets back, he can put up some pictures that I took and sent to him. And we'll see the setup. But it's already paid off with about 5 classes, 5 times school field trips walked by, and we engaged them properly, not about anything to do with the issue about their trip to Trenton. And hey, isn't it great to be out of school for today? Yeah, well, you listen to everything because you might learn something, kids. It was fun. I mean, I got to look at what could have been like 100, and they're like smiling. They may be 5th grade or something, 6th perhaps. And to say that the people I'm looking at now, I would not be a bit surprised if I'm looking at a future assemblyman, assemblywoman, or senator. Yes, one of you will probably end up doing business in there one day. And it's fun. They're all looking and taking it serious and having a little bit of fun. And you could almost feel the gratitude on the chaperones' faces that we were playing their game for a little bit when they were here, because, we are that smart. But when it was just the adults going in for the Alzheimer's Association gathering, I'm assuming needing proper funding, that was a good audience. They moved so slow. I mean, when the line right here, it would take about 10, 12, 15 minutes for them to go 30 feet. So they got to watch us set up and hear everything we had to say in the beginning. lots of fun having the assembly speaker, I believe he is, assembly speaker, having Craig Coughlin go by and have a chance to give him something. And he's good. Yeah, he's good at what he does, because I can pretty well be a judge of somebody's smile, and there's no way he should have been smiling at me. And he did it very, very well. But then that's what he does. And that's part of being a legislator. You got to be able to smile at somebody's face. You know, and talk about honorable colleagues. That honorable is not the word you would choose to use. That's their world. So we've had success. The second oldest or the oldest state house? Right there. Yeah, under renovation for how many years now? Oh, yeah, I was going to put a sign out there. And then all the crowd was, oh, no, I'm not going to now. Or should I? Yeah, I might. Once you when you grab your seat, I'll put the sign out there. You know, I suppose you would call me a co-host, but when you're not here, there ain't nothing about it. I don't mind, though. You know me, I don't need somebody around even to be talking. I get accused of that.
Need my hood on. Need my hood out here.
You know, how long you been looking at the weather? At least the last 3 days.
100% chance of rain.
Every day. It's going to be raining. How much? Well, a little lull.
100% chance.
And without even having to talk to you about it, I know we're going to be here. And I was almost sure that you'd be saying it almost always is clear for us. Even now, of course, there have been times where there's no two ways about it. But then anybody passing by and saw us doing what we do in a store with a tent thought courage of conviction, you know?
Yeah.
I think it looked that way. Sometimes it might have looked just freaking crazy, and you know, stoners out in the rain don't know when to come in from the rain. You know, no, we know when. We just don't give a shit.
Yeah.
You know,
we're covered.
It's like, okay, are sick and dying patients worth getting wet for? We read a list of people who are no longer with us at the end of every podcast. Just like World Trade Center victims are remembered out loud every September 11th. Their names are read. They are spoken out loud without saying anything about them. They still exist, just a little more when we do that. But we do it to make people feel a little bit like shit, because if you don't, you're not doing this for the right reasons. If you don't feel like shit when you fail, knowing there's people, they might not know you, but they're counting on you even though they don't know you. Well, in my case, for getting home grow provisions.
I want to call this guy.
And who is that?
Robert Auth.
Oh, why do you want to call him? Yeah, one time, just let's talk about why you're going to call somebody instead of the phone should be ringing right now. You know,
he had a bill for home grow.
Yes, but why?
Why? Why did he have a bill for home grow?
Let me tell you my theory, and maybe I can tell him my theory.
It was a joke. He was like, ha ha, I gotcha.
No, it wasn't a joke.
No, it was political.
It's called
schmoozing.
It's called greenwashing.
Greenwashing.
He's a Republican. Republicans in New Jersey have been the party of no for all things marijuana and all things cannabis and most things medical. At medical, yes, we find overlaps. But what you do is you write a bill that you know is going nowhere. You don't bother getting co-sponsors, not even from your friends. You simply write it and have it cleared by Office of Legislative Services, you know, and it never gets a hearing, doesn't get posted, but it exists. So what happens is he gets to say, yes, I authored a homegrown bill and blah, 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 and I couldn't get any support. Didn't try to get any support. Telling me he doesn't have one or two friends that owe him a favor of a co-sponsorship of a bill
Cody?
that has
I mean-
great favor with most people of New Jersey.
Not Cody.
This is not a political decision. It's like staying away from the gold because you're a Republican. So they do that. And what I say he did was do that, not planning to have it done, and people think somebody made him take it down. And off. It rings well. That's off. They hear that, they think, oh, isn't he the guy that tried to help? No!
No!
He's not the guy that tried to help.
No,
He's
no,
the
no,
guy-
no, no, no,
he's
no,
the
no,
guy
no.
that wanted to come out and make a greenwashing. This is what people do, you know?
No!
So, also, let me tell you something about Robert Auth. In 2016, he voted against people with PTSD, most notably veterans that testified here. He voted against them being allowed in the program, post-traumatic stress. It was a statement vote. 13 kind of new Republicans voted no. 52 other people voted. They knew it was going to pass, and it was going to pass easily. So why vote no? Now, if you wanted to call him about something, I would say, let me ask about that.
Okay.
If it was a statement vote, what was the statement? And if you had to go back and could do it again, would you still cast your vote against veterans with PTSD, rape victims with PTSD, child abuse victims with PTSD? Would you still vote for them not being in the program, Mr. Auth? No, see, it's just going to be, you want to ask, you know you're not going to get an answer, but would he get back to you? Oh. Hold on. Oh, you're calling already. You need a bill number. I think it's 457.
I don't hear anything.
Damn
I'm
it.
sorry. Hello?
Hello.
Oh, I'm sorry. I couldn't.
Assemblyman Bob Boss office.
Yes, hi. Jim, go ahead. You're on.
Yeah, I have a question. Assemblyman Auth authored a home grow bill, a cannabis home grow bill that was up for about a week and then taken down. And there's some people here that are saying that it was just greenwashing because Republicans, have been the party of no for most things cannabis here. And I'm not taking issue with that.
Understand you. There's a lot of interference on the line. Can I call you back?
Yeah, right.
Yes.
Okay. Bye.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
I didn't have my
I
headphones. I didn't have my headphones on. I couldn't hear her. You think she's going to call back?
We have a lot of noise here, too. I can't do nothing about that.
No. Well, I can hear her with my headphones on. See,
This one.
is that Sue? Yeah, it's Sue.
Go ahead.
Hello.
Judith Fisher from Assemblyman Bob Boss office.
Yeah, hi.
There's
I'm
still a lot of feedback on your line.
is there still feedback on it?
I'll work on it. Hold on. I'll fix it.
Okay, he's gonna work on that. Let me know if when, because can't hear the feedback from here.
All right, there we go.
Is this any better?
Hello.
Hello?
There's still a lot of feedback on your line.
Oh.
Go ahead. Just speak as much as you can.
Well, I'll just. I wanted to know why Assemblyman Auth he put up a cannabis home grow bill that was then taken down. I mean, it was listed; it wasn't posted for hearing or anything, and then it just disappeared. And we're curious why.
I think almost 2 whole sessions.
Really?
And I don't believe anybody co-sponsored the bill. And then the majority party put up a bill that was similar, but not exactly the same. Usually they don't allow that, but in this case, OLS did.
Yeah.
And it said,
Can I ask you? Did he seek any co-sponsorship? Because it's, I mean, it was only up first of all for a little while, and there's also a question that parallels that. In 2016, he voted against post-traumatic stress being an allowable indication into the program, even after three military veterans, testified in favor of it. And with a bill passing 52 to 13, all 13 votes were kind of early on Republicans, and the bill was known to be, it was going to be passed. We'd kind of like to know if he would still vote against post-traumatic stress being a medical indication, or if maybe he got that wrong.
I can take your message. Your question is, does he support post-traumatic stress disorder?
The question is, he voted against post-traumatic stress disorder being an allowable indication into the medical cannabis program. And he voted against it, even though it was clear the bill was going to pass. Usually that's called a statement vote. And we just wondered, what was his statement that he tried to make there?
Yeah, I really
He
can't
voted
make out what
against
you're
it.
saying.
Well, it's pretty important.
I can take a message that you wanted to know why A414 was pulled.
Yes.
I can ask him.
I'd appreciate that. Thank you very much. There's probably a good explanation.
Medical cannabis.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's probably a good explanation. This is not to be challenging him. It's just that it is confusing, and there are patients that wonder about that.
I can't make out what you're saying, sir.
Yeah, I'm just saying I appreciate your help, and I'm sorry for the difficulties here.
This is terrible.
And
I'm calling you back and see if we can get a better line.
Okay.
I really can't understand what you're saying.
All right, thank you.
I'll call you right back.
You might as well just use the phone.
Yeah. Well, I mean, but
yeah,
can you put?
yeah. And just hold it up. Just hold the phone up.
No, you
right
hold
here. I can't. I'm not gonna be able to hold it that long.
Like this?
Let's make this work there. Yeah, you want? Yeah, pretty much. What?
Hello.
Oh, much better.
That is better. Okay, I'm glad.
Much better. Okay, so your question regarding A414, that was reintroduced from the prior session when it was known as A1422.
Well, to be
So
clear,
it was up for.
I wanted to be clear about which bill are you talking about? The bill that for growing cannabis home grow.
Possession of 6 or fewer, yeah.
Okay, thank you. It was curious that it disappeared from view, and I understand it didn't have any co-sponsors. I was curious as to, had he actually sought out co-sponsors, or is it just you get it through OLS and register or whatever? But what?
Well, he had co-sponsored Senator Cardinale's bill in that session.
Yes. Okay.
So yeah,
okay.
there was some effort there.
Yeah. One thing that's really an old question, back to 2016, and this is the important one, really, because that's like 9 years ago now, and at the time, post-traumatic stress disorder was not an allowable indication to get into the medical cannabis program. So veterans came and testified about 22 suicides a day, and were very heartfelt about it. The bill was easily going to pass. Everybody knew it. But 13 people voted against it, coincidentally all Republicans, including Assemblyman Off. Now, I know that's called a statement vote, because I understand that, and I'm not taking issue, but it is questionable. What was the statement supposed to be by voting against a bill that was obviously going to pass to allow, veterans with post-traumatic stress, rape victims, child abuse, so many people, it was good that they got that, but it was never clear what the statement was. And I suppose the simple question is, now 9 years later, does he agree with his decision to vote against it? And there could be really good reasons. This isn't to be argumentative. It's just that for years, patients have wondered why anybody would vote against that, and I would appreciate it if you could find out. I'd appreciate it. And I know that's a tough order.
So in 2016, that bill was A457.
Correct.
Okay, and that was in the 16-17 session.
Correct.
So I certainly don't remember the vote, but I can ask him
Oh, thank you.
why opposed post-traumatic stress diagnosis medical marijuana.
Oh, thank you so much.
Okay, now, can I get your name, please?
Yeah, my name is Jim Miller, and I can be reached. I can be reached at my cell phone at 908-278.
Oh, the one I called you on. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, okay.
I got that.
No. I'm on a different phone now. But we can do this by email. Would be best. My email is like pot4ms, POT, the number 4, MS at Yahoo. I just say that because people can remember it that way better. Yeah, and I'm a co-founder. I am at the moment at a Sativa Cross 501c3, a monthly podcast from the State House, and I am a co-founder of the Coalition for Medical Marijuana, New Jersey, in good standing since 2003. And I sincerely appreciate your help. You are at the top of a very long list of people we do call, and I want to commend you for doing an excellent job.
Okay.
And I'm sorry about that.
The other cell phone number that you want me to reference.
Okay.
Just in case.
Okay. 908-278 4172. Oh, can I also make a note? Google search Jim Miller medical marijuana NJ, and you'll get a better feel from why I do what I do. And I promise you, Mr. Auth, Assemblyman Auth will be very glad that he took a look. You've done such a good job so far. I actually believe you'll do that and not just, sometimes we don't get treated this nice.
I'm going to do it.
You are the best.
I'm going to find the bill that had more support, that was more likely to pass, if you have a moment.
Okay.
Yeah. A3867.
A3867. I am called.
Right.
I am.
Growing up to 6 for personal and 10 for personal medical.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That
I'm
was
gonna.
just introduced the end of February this year.
Right. So that's still is still standing now. I mean, yeah, that'd be great.
The Assembly Oversight Committee.
Okay. Well, we will try to help get co-sponsors for that.
Okay.
You have energized us.
Link. I will send you the link to that bill so that you can contact the sponsors and the committee aides. Okay.
Okay. Do you mind? I'm sorry. I'm bad with names. I don't know if I know your name, but I don't want to say, "Hey, you, goodbye" or something. Who am I talking
name is
to?
Judith Fisher.
Judith Fisher. Okay.
Yeah.
I might even remember that. I forget names, but Judith Fisher.
Oh, me too.
Thank you very much. And serious about the Google search thing. Matter of fact, if you have a minute, take a look.
All right. Well, I've got a bunch of calls to return already. As soon as I can, I will.
You've been great. Top spot. I think you're the best so far. And you deserve a.
Tell my boss if you see him.
Tell him we said you deserve a raise because you are outstanding.
Oh, thank you very much. You have a great day.
You too. Bye, Judith.
Bye.
Well, that went well.
Yes, it did.
Yeah. Okay. I'm glad we do these calls sometimes. These cold calls.
You know what's fun is I kind of closing my eyes and I realize, geez, listen to all the right numbers and letters coming out of my mouth.
She was well versed on a lot of things.
Well, no, my problem is I like when I'm in a good zone today so far, but you know I got that assembly of words to use in a sentence as I'm speaking, and I can see with just enough clarity that I can. Yeah, you know, I should have remembered A457. You know, I have a way of remembering numbers. How long ago did I say you need to know exactly what the bill number is for everything we're talking about? I don't even remember. The beginning of the podcast, I'd pop quiz people. You need to know the number because if you talk about a bill and you use the number without hesitating, you'll get credit for having some idea what you're talking about, even when you don't after that, you know. You can bluff being smart after that. That was nice. That was nice. Somebody does their job, and while phone calls are backing up. I mean, how long did you? Okay, how if you replay this, it'll be. I said, "Do you think she's going to call? Is she going to call back?" And the phone rang.
Twice.
Like, yeah, but it rang right after that. It was. You know, I think it's just another blow off. So anyway, cold calls work. You know, I'm not a big fan, but it wasn't that cold. We warmed it up a little first. You go, hey, you know who I should call? Ring. It's like that quick. I got an answering machine. It's also a get ready for the freaking conversation machine.
I like the answering machine the best. Well, that was better, but the answering machine is fun too because you get to leave them a 5-minute message of whatever.
Yeah. Well, the answering machine, I used to advise people if you want to leave a message, it counts just the same as talking. So they usually have an answering machine on after certain hours. What you do, you write down what you're going to say. You say it 1 or 2 times, and you know, and even trying to make it sound like you're not reading, but you get to say exactly what you want. And a lot of people, they're nervous about engaging. You know, not you. I always feel a little like I'm about to do a performance when something like that happens, you know. Basically, doing what we do, you need to know how to manipulate people to get what they want, you know, not in a bad way.
Well, you did a good job with that one. That was amazing. Look at this. The truck stopping for pedestrians. That's great. I never see that in Trenton. They're running people over here. And there's no sign. There's no stop for pedestrian sign. It was taken away long ago. But they still stop. Because you're supposed to. Who's that?
So this was the day that there was no parking in Trenton during that. Well, I would assume it's cleared up a little. Some people leaving, but these people are going to leave by the way they went in. We'd be seeing a big crowd. I do wonder, with that many people, are they like splitting up and lobbying, or is there one big room in there, or did they get into one of the chambers? You know, where there's a whole lot of seats.
There's a lot of different reasons people are here today. The last time I was here, a guy came to be a judge. He was coming to be a judge. He was a lawyer that was looking for an appointment. And
Really?
I said, is judge appointments very political? He's like, 100%. He's like, it's a bonus if the guy's competent. He said, that's a bonus.
That's a crapshoot.
I see. So any idiot can be a judge because he's appointed. And it's good if he knows the law, but if he doesn't know the law, it's okay. Just have another drink with the... Oh, boy.
So can you put any of those pictures up of the view other people are getting? Because right here it just looks like I don't know, somebody's yard that's having some work done or something.
Sent them here. Here we go.
Has it always been orange barriers here? No, I mean we've been at the annex
This
for
year.
like 5 years.
This year, yeah.
Really, all year? Big orange barriers. I never noticed till I saw him on the screen right behind me.
Is this your first day here this year? Because you missed the first one, right?
Yeah, I did miss the first
So
one.
this is the thing now, and it's good because we can actually tie the tent to this thing and Ratari.
Shouldn't I have noticed that, though?
Maybe.
You know what it is I don't like get high before coming here because I like to get where I'm going and get started. I do have an edible, but that's not getting high. Am I serious? I don't know. Yeah, I took some pictures of the view because it changes. And normally it's for people more, what would be off to the way I'm pointing. And it's about like 15 yards, 20 yards maybe. And put signs more out there for their viewing pleasure. But with all those people right in front of us, geez, that was amazing. So all the cool signs are right around Ratari. I do, signs Scutari this, Scutari that, and then Ratari. You think that's obvious enough, isn't it?
Yeah, I would think so.
Yeah, I would think so. And my trying to get people to call Senator Scutari Scooter or Scoot because he scoots around patients, and patients try to talk to him. He scoots to the left, they go to the left. He scoots back to the right. Next thing you know, he's gone. Scooter, Scoot Scutari, Scoot Scutari. Come on, that's a good nickname. I think Scoot's a great nickname. I mean, actually, no, I'm not going to make people call him that. That's too cool. I mean, I didn't even like the fact Herb Conaway had the first name Herb when he was denying homegrown hearings. That's like false advertising. And now he's my congressman. It's odd seeing this many cars and then they're all busy inside now. This is more for fun, being out here for that first hour. I don't know, man. There are going to be some pictures of Ratari and some private, people have. Ratari gets a lot of camera angles from people. He's not a dangerous looking rat, though. You don't have him?
It's not downloading it to my phone. It's putting it somewhere else. Okay. I'll do it another way. I have to screenshot it.
Screenshot it.
Oh, wait. Here we go.
Oh, wait. Here we go.
What's this?
So you use like both thumbs or one?
No, I don't use Google Photos. So it's like, I'm trying to figure out where it's putting it. It put it somewhere, and I don't know where it put it. Very strange.
I am a computer kind of relative dinosaur, but it does kind of bother me where it says where I can save something, and it kind of zips away, and I don't know where.
Yeah, that's what happened to me just now. It zipped away. I don't know where it went, and I'm like, okay.
I don't think it's that big a deal. And the new sign, one of the new signs there, medical homegrown pilot program is a diversion. Nobody knows what that means. What the hell does that mean? Medical homegrown pilot program, in quotes, pilot program, is a diversion. Ooh, and a big exclamation point. That when Scutari, Senate President, gets backed into a corner and he has to let go of the homegrown rope for patients, he's not going to want to let the bill get heard. He's going to say, the reason I haven't allowed the bill to be heard is we've been working on a pilot program that would only help the sickest and most hurt patients. It'd be very narrow. He has said that on Spotlight New Jersey with Brianna Vannozzi. So it's not a rumor. He's floated that as his landing spot while still denying an informational hearing for a 4 mature and 4 immature plant limit. Well, there you are. I'm looking over your shoulder, seeing the. It does look pretty good. Doesn't it just kill you that you don't know what to do? And any one of those kids that were here before, you could have said, "Where'd it go?" and they'd have made your thumbs look like they were standing still.
I do a screenshot. I got to edit the picture.
You don't have to. I could go hold it up in front of that camera over there. That's pretty old school, right?
It's a good one. That's a nice shot. Put that up.
So now how do you get that screenshot up? You know,
I'm going to put it right up here on Facebook.
this is why I don't trust old people.
Here we go. Facebook. If you want to see what we look like, it's up on Facebook now. And I'll put it on Instagram too.
Yeah, well, we've gotten older than that since then, but
Well, you wanted me to do it, so I'm doing it.
yeah.
I'm getting it done.
Well, I mean,
Instagram. There we go. Insta. Put it up on Insta
Insta, and then
or the Gram.
so when I'm looking up at us on your
Do we want music behind it? Let's put some music behind it.
no, we already got a reverse beep beep beep. Oh, it just went off. I'll tell you though, sometimes this canyon gets loud when an emergency vehicle goes up it. Have you noticed there is like a big lack of traffic?
Yeah, there is not much traffic. Foot traffic, yeah, but not traffic. We need more honks for home grow. All right, it's up on Instagram.
There's not that many people riding by to honk. Always have that honk for home grow sign out.
Shout out to New Jersey Vibe Tribe. Shout out to Mad Hatter.
Can I shout something out?
Shout it out.
Baru! Just shout out to Baru. Baru knows who he is. It's a friend of mine. It's alter ego.
I like about this picture, you can see the whole crowd in the line. You can see the whole
Yeah.
line of people.
It's not a coincidence, man.
Great.
You know, I got an eye. That's why I said before I wanted you. I'm looking at you and I'm seeing the orange things and the people's torsos behind and all.
All right, Jim. I think I'm going to be done. I think it's getting to me. It's too cold.
I have other sweatshirts. Actually, I could put a sweatshirt on and you could put this on over
I
you.
have 1, 2, 3 layers on right now. I'm freezing.
Really?
It's cold out here. Aren't you cold?
No.
Let's see. It is 54 degrees.
What does it feel like?
Feels like 40 for me.
Yeah, they always say that, you know, a temperature and then what it feels like. And I don't like that because I can go outside and tell them what it feels like. Don't tell me what it feels like to me. It might not feel like that. Anyway.
Well, I'm going to start the list. We don't have to end the
Yeah.
show, but we can start the list and we can start the whole process of the list and talking about why we do the list.
The list.
Why we do the list.
That's the end of the show when we do the list. We do the list and then you give some shout outs. And the list, as I always say, is similar to what happens every September 11th at the former site of the World Trade Center or wherever they do it. They read the names of all the victims of the collapse of the World Trade Center.
Some gave all.
Yeah, and they do that. It's like not a memorial. It's just paying homage,
Remembrance.
to them.
It's like
you
the
know?
ode of remembrance.
It's like it makes it just a little more real that if you never mention their names again, if their names were never mentioned, maybe some don't have families, maybe, you know, it should never disappear, you know. And it's ceremonial. I mean, I know it doesn't really do anything, but that we do that for cannabis patients and activist advocates. Roger Barber, a lawyer with a child, a father, you know, those that really got involved. And for most, it was with the awareness that it wasn't just them. They were more aware than anybody of other people's situations. And I like the way you do the list. I mean, we do start with Cheryl, and it's because she was the first one to out herself as a patient in the most painful and public ways, starting in 1991. And then right around 1999, we found help in New Jersey, you know, and you know, like all of you, and you know, and others.
Did you take a picture of our rat? Isn't he cute?
He's a nice rat.
He is a nice rat.
No, actually, the one he represents is not a nice
Yeah.
man.
He's nicer than the real rat this
Yeah.
inside the building there.
Yeah.
But I want to thank Mad Hatter for having us out there at the Mad Hatter Dispensary. We have a really cool club out there. It's kind of a lounge. It's kind of it's an event space. And we're having cannabis-friendly Sunday worship on June 1st. We are on YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram. What are you here for? Oh, okay. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Thanks for.
Your father was disabled. See? There it is. Thank you. God bless you. Wow. See? His dad was disabled. He agrees with the medical cannabis because his dad was disabled, and I guess his dad probably was a patient.
Yeah.
And I just love being here, hearing the stories of people. This is why we like come here too, because
He reminded me of something, and that makes it even a double good thing. That what is needed now is the quickest version I can say is maybe in 2008, 2006 maybe. Roseanne Scotti of the Drug Policy Alliance would come to Coalition for Medical Marijuana monthly meetings. And, you know, DPA had the money. They were the player. They were the ones that got credit for getting our medical marijuana law introduced, the Drug Policy Alliance. So at that meeting, I was saying people keep thinking that it's a legislative risk to support having a medical cannabis law, marijuana law then. And it isn't. And the only way to prove that is to do a poll. And I was saying the DPA should do a poll. And she said that costs $30,000. Now, I didn't know it cost that much. She's right. That was not to have a viable poll. But what happened is I really pressed her to do it. It's the DPA. Listen, this is going to free us up. It needs to be done. And then she started squawking at me that I actually had to put my fingers to my ears and go, stop screeching, stop screeching. Ask Ken.
stop screeching at me.
Ken was there. We need all our ducks in a row. And then guess what happened 6 months later? The DPA did a study. The one that she was squawking at me about, it was too expensive. 6 months later, they did a study. It turns out 86% supported, 11% didn't, and 3 didn't know what the hell to think. 86% supported. That took off. That bill was as good as gonna pass from that time on. Now, what would it be if somebody took a poll for should this bill be heard? It would be at least that. But the fact is, we don't have $30,000 to do. Oh, by the way, Kellyanne Conway was the one that did the survey back then because she was with a polling firm then before she was Donald Trump's advisor. Anyway, that's what's needed. We need a poll. And, you know, we don't have corporate sponsorship. For some people, that's not a lot of money to nail this shut. to make sure it gets a hearing. And I'll tell you one thing right now here before we're off. This way it's public. Yeah, when the bill gets posted for a hearing, testifying at that hearing is probably the last thing I'm going to do. Like regular, I need to do other things now. I'm going to be 73. I'm not going to die.
Whoa.
I'm not going to die being a freaking advocate. I'm going to die learning to play the keyboard and be a better guitar player, maybe. But you know, I want a golden year.
What's up, Bongholio? What's up, Clean Sanchez? Happy birthday, Bongholio. Bongholio had a birthday yesterday.
Oh, happy birthday, Mikey. Oh, I'm sorry, Bongholio.
Bongholio.
Hey, he said Bongholio, and I looked up. I expected to see Bongholio right up behind Ratari here.
Bongholio, such a great bong.
Boy, what a roll he's on, huh?
Woo!
Oh, man. That's exciting, you know?
Yep.
It's like, I don't know. It's like being some sort of bounty hunter or something.
Yeah.
I don't know. You know, I mean, maybe that's not the right, you know.
Bounty hunter for ignorance and bad politicians.
Well, I got to tell you, you know, that's and the thing is, it's like I've always said. I mean, I'm really proud of him, you know, but when people in the past got proud of me, all I could say is, listen, I walk, I talk, I sit, I stand. That's what I do. That's all I do. I don't juggle. I'm not a doctor. You know, I have no real amazing skills, meaning anybody could do what we do. Well, you got to have knowledge to do what you're doing, but anybody could do what I'm doing.
Same birthday as Cheryl. Same birthday as Cheryl.
Wow.
Yeah.
He's old.
Yeah. So wait a minute. Rob wants us to comment on this picture. Is that what he's at? He wants me to comment on this.
I don't know.
What am I commenting on?
Whoa.
What is that? What's going on there?
I don't know, but looking pretty dapper, I got to say.
Yeah, you're looking good.
Yeah, man. Where
What's
is
going-
it? I can't go.
I can't see what that is. Where is
Where-
that? Tony Awert, Sofitel, hotels and resorts.
Yeah,
Sofitel.
definitely. Looking good.
That's a crazy hat. It's a crazy red hat there.
See, I went and I looked at his hat.
See, we need to have hat day at the Mad Hatter with hats like that.
Oh, yeah, hat day.
Hat day at the Mad Hatter. Wear a hat and you get a discount. Has to be a cool hat though. It can't be just, you know. Uh-oh, here comes the rain. I knew it. Hold on.
Want to cover that with something?
It's safe right now, but we're out of here soon. Okay.
Okay.
57% of Edison residents voted yes for weed, except for that one guy. That one guy who's using children to rally against weed. There's a guy running for mayor. He's against weed, and he wants to make it illegal in the town. So I'm sure LRAM is going to have something
illegal
to say.
in the town.
Yeah, they want no dispensaries, no cannabis.
No, but not
use,
illegal.
No use. You can't use it. They don't want you to use it. They
What
don't
about
want it.
in your home?
Maybe in your home. Smoke it at home. Smoke your weed at home.
Well, you know, I'm sure that's going to draw a lot of people in.
Ay.
That's sarcasm too.
Well, thank you, Mad Hatter. We have events coming up June 1st, cannabis-friendly worship. Come on out in the morning. Hashi Hallelujah.
Non-denominational.
21 and over.
You want to always say non-denominational.
Non-denominational, 21 and over.
I like that effect. Different denominations going
on.
to the same spot.
Come on in.
You know, I think that is a very valid endeavor. I won't be there, but it's a valid endeavor.
You'll be streaming it. We'll be live.
Oh,
So,
I will take a look.
May 31st is Puff and Paint. You want to sign up for the Puff and Paint on May 31st.
Mm-hmm.
It's a LGBTQ friendly, or actually a LGBTQ themed Puff and Paint. So come on out for that one. And Cannabis Church is also LGBTQ friendly. Thank you, CMMNJ. Thank you, UFCW. I smell weed. Is that you? You smoking weed?
Yeah, I snuck it.
OprahMachine.com, UFCW, Arlo Glass, and SativaCross.org, where you can donate to us. Our list begins with Cheryl. Sabina,
Hmm.
Diane, Gracie, Cindy May, Marie, Jack, Joan, Randy. See, this is how I want to break up the list. I always break up the list when there's some information, and using minors for campaign commercials is unethical. Yeah, he's using minors in the campaign commercial.
Who he?
What's his name? The guy running for mayor? Lav Patel? Yeah, that's his name. Lav Patel. Lav Patel running for mayor made a campaign commercial with minors saying cannabis has no place in town. Either does cancer or MS. Let's kick out cancer and MS too. Let's get rid of that too. How do we do that? Well, with cannabis. Oh, well, get all you out of here.
Yeah,
get cannabis out of here too.
That won't be. He won't.
Get your marijuana and your MS out of my town.
Yes.
Not in my town, you little sick cripples.
You know, if it makes him feel better, and doesn't anybody, who's going to take him serious? I mean, okay, you know, it's those same kids in the commercial. Half their parents probably smoke. You know, not in front of them.
Corralling kids in such a manner is unethical at best and soft child trafficking at worst. Well, that town is known for a lot of weird stuff.
I think I agree, but you know, I do it in a measured way that maybe in about an hour or two, or when I get home, it'll be like, son of a bitch. It'll make sense to me, you know. So it's like, I hear what you're saying though. That sounds about right. Now I got to see that then, you know.
Jack, Joan, Randy, Holly, Bill, Chad, Jeremy, Colette, Matt, Troy, Russ, Roger Barber, Jay, Ella, Hattie, Jackie Rickert, Anthony, Jake, Armando, Felicia, Lynn, Dan, Sean McKay from Suicide, PTSD. Almost said the dad.
Yeah.
Joyce, Lori, that's Mikey V's aunt. Give your uncle a call, Bongolio. Frank, Brian, Flo, Carl, Thorne, Frank, Lorraine, Terry, Charlotte, Cher, Jay Bird, Michael, Marley Sheen, Colette Carroll. Used to come out here all the time. Sweetheart. Brendan, Red Blazer, Rico, Lou, Becky, LaWanda, Chip, Paul, Lisa, Marcus, Gary, Julia, and Jeff Oakes. We'll drop the mic with Jeff Oakes right there.
Yeah. You know, I just got to say, I think of Gary a lot. That's, of course, Gary Sage. Because he was there for us in New Jersey in the beginning, 1999. And he got things done. Gary Sage put up the Cheryl Hart website, maintained it. And maybe it's just because Gary Sage loved Cheryl more than anybody outside the family. You know, it's obvious. And I miss him, and I miss that I wasn't there. We didn't see him for like 6-7 years. But that's what the list does, you know? It's like these are real people, and Gary Sage was out there helping us make things happen. He came down to Washington with us when we were there for something like that. And then they saw what took to take care of Cheryl, and a few people did. Oh, right, we got that honk sign.
Honk for home, bro. They're honking.
Well,
It's raining.
you're in the right spot. I mean, they're stopping for the crosswalk right there. It's celebration, or fight or flight?
Is that
What is that?
is that guns?
No.
What was that? That's not gunshots, is it? I mean, we are in Trenton.
Yeah, it sounds
It's
like
gunshots.
well, fireworks.
Fireworks?
It's not their cannons. They got cannons too over at the War Memorial Auditorium.
Well, if we hear sirens going now, we'll know. But
Nobody else seems. Wow.
that was from over that
Yeah.
way. A lot of shots, about 25 shots. I don't know if you can hear
I
it.
know, it's like multiples.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. It had that. I don't know. I don't necessarily think it could be. It could have been decent fireworks.
Could be cool
too.
fireworks, but I think that was.
Yeah, they had that firework cadence,
Yeah.
though. You know.
All right. Well, we're out of here. It's starting to rain, and I think we missed our window of opportunity, but it's okay. I can pull my truck up. I'll probably pull up here.
Yeah, you could.
Yeah. All
And
right.
looks like okay. Well, then I can get the car up here.
All right.
Let's get to it then.
All right. So we'll see you next week. Don't forget, June 1st, Cannabis Friendly Church. May 31st, Puff and Paint at the Mad Hatter. See you next time. They went with songs to the battle. They were young, straight of limb, true of eye, steady and aglow. They were staunch to the end against odds uncounted. They fell with their faces to the foe. They shall grow not old, as we that are left grow old. Age shall not weary them, nor the years condemn. At the going down of the sun, and in the morning, we will remember them. Yeah.